Thinking about moving abroad? Well, this is something we've thought about too for a long time. And since we've been traveling, we've come up with a short list of about 7 cities we think hit our criteria and we think might be great cities for Americans who want to be expats abroad. So let's get into it. Who are we?
Yeah, so we are Chris and Steve. EatWalkLearn. We have been traveling the globe for 3.5 years now. And we have...
Full-time
traveling. And we have lived what we call lived in a lot of different cities around the world. So what we're talking about in this video is places that we've been in for at least 1 month at a time.
And we're actually living. We're taking the public transportation. We're going to the grocery store. We're meeting the community. We're volunteering. We're living, not just being vacationers and running to the local monuments.
Exactly. And there's some things that we look for when we travel around the world. And what are some of the top things that we look for?
Yeah, so some of the criteria of what we look for, especially for this particular list of places we'd want to live as expats. So we always look for 72 degrees. So for our Celsius folks, that's 20 degrees. And we don't necessarily mean 20 degrees every single day. We mean a range of like 50 to 80 degrees, with that sweet spot being a lot of days at that 72 degree day.
Yeah, we want to be comfortable. We don't want to be too hot. We don't want to be in snow. We also like kind of, arid kind of temperatures or climate. So we don't want places that rain all the time.
Or too humid.
Yeah, too humid.
Right. I mean, no place is perfect, but that's what we shoot for. We also look for small to medium-sized cities, places with a good airport within an hour of where we're going to live. There's usually a water body nearby, whether it's an ocean, a river, or a lake. And we like to have mountains nearby as well, so we can go hiking and get away from maybe the warmer temperatures and up into the cooler temperatures of the mountains.
Yeah, my favorite place is going to have an ocean on one side, mountains on the other side, maybe lakes and rivers in between. But really, an interesting climate, interesting place,
and geography. And we don't want to have a car either, so we want to make sure that public transportation is good including the walkability. So it's got to be a city that's walkable with hopefully good sidewalks and good walking culture, where as a pedestrian you're not really worried that you're going to get run over because people are looking out for pedestrians. So anyway, not all of our places hit all of these pieces of criteria, but all these places hit most of these pieces of criteria. Is there anything else on the criteria?
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, I just want to add that, if you are going to be moving to a new community, there's a very likelihood that you're going to have a car. But that's, typically what we're looking for is places with good public transportation that are very walkable, where you don't necessarily need a car.
Right. And they're also affordable. So for us, affordable means that the housing or the accommodation is going to run $2,000 or less. And that's on a long-term lease. We're not talking about, Airbnb pricing. We're talking about you have a contract, you've gotten a lease, you've used an agent or something, and your monthly rent is less than, or your monthly housing payment or whatever is less than equal to about $2,000 a month.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's some of our criteria. So
we forgot one. We also like to have, if the country is not an English-speaking country, we want to make sure that there's an expat population that is English-speaking in that location. Yeah. They don't have to necessarily be Americans. I mean, they can be Canadian or Brits or South Africans or Australians or whatever. Yeah. But just as long as there is a community that we can tap into to build friendships and an information network in case we need to find out about things. And also we like to make some friends with English speakers.
Yeah, and it's just simple. It's like, we're not talking about going off the grid here. We're talking about, going to communities that a lot of other people want to go to. So they may also be considered possibly, tourist destinations that have a lot of cool things to see and do.
Okay, so place number 1. So it's close to home, close to North America, or in North America, close to the U.S. is, and we're just going to give, these are not ranked as our favorites, just number 1. Number 1 is Ajijic, Mexico. That's Ajijic. Not an easy word for Americans to pronounce. It is a little city just outside of Guadalajara, Mexico. And we like it for a lot of reasons. It hits the criteria. It's within an hour of the Guadalajara airport, which is a great airport to get in and out of, international airport. It's got probably, of all the places we're going to mention today, probably the best weather of all the places.
It's got amazing weather. It's right on Lake Chapala, which is the largest lake in Mexico. And it's got mountains. It's fairly high altitude. So you say Mexico, that's too hot. Not this place. This place has got great weather, beautiful sunshine, and great people too.
And a giant expat population of Americans and Canadians. You might even say that there might be too many expats in Ajijic.
Yeah, well, let's just say it's got a nice retirement community, but there are other communities around it. So Chapala, which is right next door, also on Lake Chapala, is much more authentic, if you will, as a Mexican town. But you've got Guadalajara, which is just down the street. It's about a 30-minute drive away, which is a big, bustling city.
Yeah.
A very modern, beautiful city.
Yeah. Ajijic is also a place that within Ajijic, you don't need a car. But if you're going to leave Ajijic, I mean, there are buses back and forth to Guadalajara and to the airport, but it might be more convenient to have a car. So it's always more convenient to have a car usually. Okay, number 2. This might be the prettiest of all the locations we're going to mention, and that is Split, Croatia. What'd you think of Split?
Yeah, this was a surprise to me. I was like, we're going to Croatia, and why is that? But it is beautiful. It's on the Adriatic. It's got also mountains, and it's got the ocean is right there, and islands, and really cool things to see. It's a great little town. And
Croatia has so many great national parks, and the expat community in Split is very warm and engaging. We made some really good friends there. Hi, everybody. And it was very affordable. We took salsa dancing classes. The community was really accessible. It was easy to get into the community, even if we didn't speak Croatian.
Yeah.
The weather probably is not that happy 72 in the height of summer and in the height of winter. It's going to be hotter and colder. And the summertime does get a lot of tourism. So, it may get a little annoying. Right?
Yeah. And we were there in September, and it was beautiful weather.
Yeah.
I definitely would consider living there. And
we got some good medical care there too. So definitely, a place that you could continue any medical care that you might need.
Yeah.
Okay, next up was actually the next place we went after Split. We went to Chania, Crete in Greece. Now, a lot of people pronounce Chania Chania, Chania, but it's Chania on the island of Crete in the Greek islands. Wow, was this a great place. Holy cow.
Yeah, also a really beautiful, lovely waterfront, great mountains, great hiking, really beautiful. We were there in October, November, so the weather was beautiful. Probably would be hot in the summertime.
Definitely
and
hot in the summer, yeah.
Is considered a kind of a tourist destination, so that the tourists come in the summertime. So
But again, the expat community again was fantastic. Hi, everybody. We met some folks in the hiking community and actually hiked with some friends there again in England later on. As we travel around the world, we've kept up with those friendships. Although the Greeks are wonderful, great, fantastic people, the language can be a little bit challenging. And because of that language, it's a little bit challenging to get to know the local Greek population by speaking Greek. Now, if they speak English, that's obviously accessible, but not with the Greeks. So it's also an island, so you may get a little island fever after a while of living on Crete, but we loved it. Within Chania, you don't need a vehicle at all, and the airport's really accessible. And so are the ferries. The ferries into Crete are really accessible. But if you want to get anywhere else in Crete, you need to have a car because the bus system just was a little wackadoodle.
It's my favorite place for food. So Greek food and the food in Chania, Crete, Greece was so good.
It's I love Mexican food. I grew up on Mexican food growing up in San Diego. So to say there's another body of food that beats Mexican food is tough. But I think of all the places, the Greek food of all the places in the world, I mean, even Thailand and everything, I think Greek food ultimately is my favorite food. If I have just one food that I have to rely on, I think it'd be Greek food.
Yeah.
Sorry, my love for Mexico. Okay, next up, surprisingly, we're going to go back up north and hit Bristol, England. Now, a lot of people are going to laugh at us when we say Bristol, because I think when you think of the UK, I mean, we've been all over Scotland, Northern Ireland, England and Wales, and then obviously we've also
Ireland.
been to Ireland because our daughter goes to school in Dublin. We've been to lots and lots and lots and lots and lots of towns. I've done a lot of house sits. We've been north and south and east and west all over the UK. I know Ireland is not part of the UK. Northern Ireland is. But we really like Bristol. Now, it's not going to hit that 72-degree desire, and it's going to rain a lot there. But it's just this really cool, hip, fun, interactive, pretty city.
Yeah, I don't think it's one of the places that you think about. It's like, I'm going to go to England. I'm going to go to, London or, wherever, all of the different cities that you could go to. It's not like top of the list. But I really enjoyed it there. I thought the people were amazing. It had great culture, very walkable.
And bikeable.
Interesting city, small, just kind of the right size to get around easily.
And Banksy is from there. So there's like this little edge of the artwork there and graffiti and art and murals and things. Just a really good, and we did a lot of fun things there. You blew that blue glass and
glass blowing.
And Stonehenge is not far from there, so you can get to Stonehenge from there too. So it's a neat city. Don't overlook Bristol. If you and of course they speak English. It's a very easy location as an American expat to live in, language wise and cultural wise. Lots of things are very familiar.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Next up.
Let's
going
go
all the way down under.
The opposite end of the globe.
Yeah.
We're going to go to Torquay Beach in Australia. This is south of Melbourne. And I know you're going to say, for those people who know Australia, you can't go south from Melbourne.
You can.
Yes, you can.
So Torquay Beach is fantastic. So it's a small beach community just south of Melbourne. It's just really chill. Like this chill town, and it's easy to get around, and everybody's really friendly. Everybody's house is, you're no matter where you live, you're within, 10 blocks most of the beach. And the beach is really pretty and really wide. There's all kinds of surfing contests and life-saving contests and all kinds of things just happening there. You're near, it's the beginning of the Ocean Road. So that's a famous drive along the southern coast of Australia.
Right.
Just a really, like if you want to live in a beach community that's really chill and doesn't even think of itself as a beach. I mean, it's a beach community, but they're not hung up on the fact that they're a beach community.
Well, Australia, everywhere is a beach community. And Australia, again, I don't want to compare it to England, but there's a lot of cities and a lot of places that you could live and really have a great lifestyle. So we're picking one of the ones that we spent quite a bit of time in that's just a little bit off the beaten path. And again, very close to Melbourne, with great airports. I think it had amazing weather. And to be
But
on
it's
the
not going to
beach-
have amazing weather year round. Probably the winter, you've got that breeze coming up off of Tasmania. That's a little cold. But in general, it's a livable, good weather. I mean, it's a beach town, which a lot of beach towns are like that. So, and it's got good transportation. A car would make things just like anywhere in Australia. Really, a car kind of helps you out if you're outside the cities.
Yeah.
But you could make do without a car if you had to. Yeah. Okay. All right. 2 more places coming up. You're not gonna believe what the last one is because it kind of surprised us that we put it on the list. By the way, would you do us a favor? Would you subscribe and hit that alert button? We are trying really hard to give you content that you like, and also watch another video after you watch this one. So if you like, we've got a bunch of Australia content, we've got a bunch of Mexican content, we've got a bunch of English content. If you're interested in any of these towns that we've mentioned, we probably have a video about it. So, just look in our playlist and pull up another video. We'll make some recommendations for you at the end. And, you could watch a commercial too, because that's how we get paid is if you watch one of those commercials. So next up, Vietnam. How about Da Nang?
Yeah, Da Nang, Vietnam is another beach community, and in Vietnam, which is of all the places that we've mentioned, this is going to be the most affordable place.
Yeah, that's true.
Think. And really, a lively city. It's a busy city. They've got the Dragon Bridge, which is really cool.
And you're right on the Vietnamese Sea, which don't tell them, the Chinese call it the Chinese Sea. It actually, Da Nang actually reminded me of San Diego. When I was growing up, they've got, some nice high rises. You've got the beach there. So Da Nang is actually, the city is split in the middle by a river. On one side is the non-beach side, and the other side is the beach side. The beach is really affordable. There's a long boardwalk along it. Lots of places to swim and enjoy the water. It's very pretty. it's Da Nang is right in the center. So Vietnam is a long, skinny country, and it's right in the center between Ho Chi Minh and Hanoi. So a great place to go if you need to get some clothes created. You can go down to Hoi An. There's lots of tailors in Hoi An. But a really livable, affordable, a good expat community. Lots of Americans and British are living there. And nice English speaking. It is easy to speak throughout Vietnam and a lot for your service oriented stuff. So grocery stores and restaurants and laundry and they have most of those. You can communicate with English in most of the time.
And the Vietnamese people are so warm and so welcoming. It's really, one of these places that I'm looking forward to going back to.
Yeah. And the weather probably it's that thermometer 50 to 80 is more extreme. So maybe not less than 50, but definitely more than 80, and it definitely has a rainy season. So we were there. When were we there? We were there in March. March, yeah.
And it was pretty warm.
Yeah. So not the best weather, but definitely the cheapest location of all the places we're listing. And finally, the last place, we actually were here before we started our nomad life and almost forgot about it, but we're going to add it on here because it's back in the Americas, back south of North America, all the way down to South America, to Lima, Peru, and the particular neighborhood called Miraflores, which is south of downtown Lima.
Yeah, and again, we're on the ocean, beautiful, cosmopolitan. You're in Peru, which has just this amazing country, and Lima is an amazing city. And this is the section of Lima, Peru, that again is like San Diego.
Yeah,
it's just it's just really a delight to be there. And
I call it the affordable San Diego. Same type of weather. You're on the bluff overlooking the Pacific. You got it's like La Jolla. You got hang gliders coming off the bluff. Great little restaurants and cafes and shops. Wonderful history all over the place. Lots of things to do. Obviously, speaking Spanish will help you go a long way. Ton of expats there. A ton of digital nomads are there as well. And Peru as a country, it's got a bazillion things to do in it. There's, obviously you have Machu Picchu and the Sacsayhuaman Valley. There is, you could have something different to do every day in not only Lima, but in the entire country of Peru. So definitely a place that if you wanted to kind of settle into a country that had lots of things to do, that would be it. Now, we didn't say this at the beginning of the video. The caveat here is we haven't looked at visa requirements and citizenship requirements and bank requirements and where you got to put your money or where you don't have to put your money and if there's any sort of monetary needs that you have to meet in order to live in these countries. Those are obviously issues that you need to think of. We didn't want to include them here because everybody's got a different situation with their passports and their visas and their immigration. So it's just not even worth going into here.
And with so many different countries, we'd be 4 more videos if we got into, here's how all the different visa options. But I think we covered, was it 7?
7 countries, but you know what?
7 places.
We were going to mention a few. So Portugal and Spain are always on people's list, especially Americans on where to live. They're on our list too. We have not lived a month anywhere in Spain or Portugal, so it didn't meet our criteria for the video. But we are going to just quickly list off the cities that we're looking at in the future to live in for at least a month as possible places that we would evaluate for long-term living. So in Spain, that would be Vigo, Cadiz, Alicante, Valencia, Bilbao, and Granada. In Portugal, that would be Porto, Viana do Castelo, Tavira, and Ojal. And Tavira and Ojal are both in the Algarve. Viana do Castelo is on the northern coast above Porto. Lisbon's not on the list.
Yeah,
we like Lisbon, but we're not interested in
Lisbon. And I think when we first started traveling, we had ideas of, we're going to go to Portugal and we're going to fall in love with it and we're going to want to stay there and not leave. We know people who have done that.
All right, that's it for this week. Give us a thumbs up, like us, love us, subscribe to us. Let us know if you like our handsome man and short-haired woman here. And thanks, as always, for following along. See ya.